I will try to explain this as a product, that how it's helpful, what could be the way that, SIEM solutions, other vendors, Splunk, HPR, they're using a lot in the market. But I think now people are using the workloads mainly in the cloud. So I think that make more sense to have everything in one consolidated approach. And Microsoft built this Azure Sentinel product that is a cloud native SIEM. And we will look at how it goes and how it works. So first of all, we have to understand that the first thing that the traditional SOC challenges like lack of automation, lack of AI, and threat detection, threat hunting, and different angles you are managing, and that are very specific, and they're not talking to each other as a product. You need special integration or special connectors or special things you have to write it down. But Microsoft bring this Azure Sentinel product in the market that start with cloud, with the SaaS applications. Today, I will show you guys that how to bring Amazon logs to Azure Sentinel. That's very easy, and that's actually really power that you can bring your logs from mostly firewalls, proxy solutions, security appliances, on-premise, on cloud, hybrid, custom connectors. That's actually the fun. But money is always there. You have to pay for it. So that's quite obvious. What functionalities you want to use, then you have to manage cost for that. So that is actually cloud plus artificial intelligence, because Microsoft embedded all their security graph on the backend, and Microsoft integrated all best practices based on their products, giving the signals, and Microsoft analyzing all the logs that you can't do that on the traditional SOC solutions. That's really, really important for customers. So actually introducing the Azure Sentinel. Azure Sentinel, as I mentioned, that cloud native SIEM solution. It collects the data, detects based on patterns, based on the AI, investigate into it, and then respond it. You can use the Azure Logic Apps to do the integrations with the different solutions, ticketing system, or you want to take some actions on the top of that, so you can do that. Actually, the 4 working principles: collect, detect, investigate, and respond. That is actually the way how Sentinel works. So in Office 365 data is totally free. You can integrate Office 365 data into Sentinel. That is free of cost, especially audit logs and sign-in logs. You can bring that Microsoft covers in their offering, of course. But for rest of data, if you trying to bring into the Sentinel, please do your estimation. Today, I will not just go in one direction to technical side. I will give you guys that what it fits in our environment as a technical product and as a business use cases. So I will go in that context. So it's easy integration with the existing tools, and as I mentioned, that the faster AI powered in it. So that's actually the way that how Microsoft is building this solution. So I will jump into this. This is actually the dashboard of Azure Sentinel. In Sentinel, you can, first of all, in the settings, I just want to show you start point. Lots of customers or colleagues asking that what is the pricing model for that? So here is the pricing model for that. It's up to you that how you want to scale. if pay as you go, this is also, so you have to choose that it's priced in the dollars. Don't mind that it's only 500, something like that. So you can choose that what could be the pricing, what could be the way, and if you like to remove, you can remove that. If you like to set up, change something like delete that instance, you can do that also, but it's again depends that you have to size it. And especially when you are going to set up Azure Sentinel services, please be aware of that. It's not just create log analytics services and put it into the Sentinel and start running. No. Let's say you have different compliance in Europe, you have different compliance in Australia, you have different compliance somewhere else. So then you have to be careful that how your data will be retained in the specific regions or like that. So it depends that how you're gonna structure your approach. So I will go back into the slides. I can just show you the overview. Advantage of security advantages. Last time I did the session with you guys that Microsoft is heavily investing their resources and investments to bring things in one ecosystem, that trillions of the diverse signals from different systems, from the endpoint, from Azure, from virtual machines, authentications, Kubernetes clusters, edge devices are coming and they're correlating each other, and then they are giving you the better visibility. So that's how Microsoft is taking that advantage. You know, Microsoft is integrating into the Sentinel Microsoft Defender ATP that is sending the signal to Sentinel and Azure Sentinel, Azure ATP, Azure ATP. They are sending all the data, Cloud App Security, which we covered in the last session. So this is how Microsoft is investing heavily inside this ecosystem to bring everything correlated, AI-powered, and advanced hunting, and you can take the action on the top. Okay, so limitless cloud speed and the scale, as I mentioned, that it's up to you, that no infrastructure setup, you don't need to do anything. You have to just, please mute someone. Okay, so as I mentioned, that you don't need to deploy any infrastructure, any hardware side. No, you have to just go and set up your SIEM solution inside the Azure portal. As I showed you guys that I created one log analytics and I onboarded with the Sentinel, and it start working on the top of that. And reduce the security and IT cost. Again, you have to pay only what you have to use. That's it. That's actually the, again, we can say it's like a SIEM or SOC solution, pay as you go, as in the SaaS model. No infrastructure cost, no upfront cost, nothing, anything else. You have to use, let's say I'm just paying 5 euros or 10 euros per month. I'm getting better visibility. And if you like to have SOCs, like I have smaller environment, I'm not saying that I am working with thousands of the users. I know there is a big infrastructure, you have to create a big environment. So it's, I think, really best model to go and scale your SIEM solution with the cloud native environment, and you have a better visibility. And Office 365 services data is totally free. That at least you guys can leverage immediately inside your Azure environments. That's allowed to doable. Okay. Integrate an existing tools and the data sources. So I just want to show you guys that what is integration in it. So I can show you guys that there is this is actually collection that Azure Sentinel collects the data from Office 365, Azure Infrastructure, PaaS, Microsoft Security Alerts, Intune, Defender, AWS, on-premise, everything you can bring to Azure Sentinel. I can go into the Sentinel and then I can show you guys that, sorry, there is a Sentinel. Inside the Sentinel, there is the connectors. Okay, Microsoft having built-in connectors. I just want to give you the overview. This is Amazon. I hope very soon Google will also collaborate with Microsoft, but I don't know the timeline. That's just a wish. Okay, so you can connect with the Amazon, and you can connect with the Barracuda, Checkpoint, Cisco, CyberArk, big F5, ForcePoint, Fortinet. These are all Palo Alto, Syslog, Symantec, Trend Micro, I think, Zscaler. All popular security solutions are able to integrate with Microsoft directly. So you don't need to do any extra steps or any extra functionalities. So I can show you that how to scale, how to connect different systems and different sources. This is actually the cloud directly. So I can jump into that Amazon, let's say. If you have some deployments, most of the customers are using Azure Active Directory or local Active Directory authentication. But what if your customers having some workloads on Amazon and some workloads, let's say Office 365 in the cloud of the Azure, like where the SaaS services, M365 services. So they wanna do activities together and they wanna bring the logs of AWS. So how to do that? That's actually quite interesting. So I can show you. I have this Amazon account already. So there is a connector. In this connector, Microsoft having this Microsoft ID, and this is external workspace ID, Microsoft ID, and then you need to create one role inside Amazon. So this is a way. You have to go, and it's quite easy. It's just 2 minutes. You can go into the identity and access management in the roles, and then you have to choose another account, and then you have to put that account ID which assigned to that instance of Azure Sentinel by Microsoft, and choose this optional require external ID. This is a workspace ID. You need to put it here. And you have to assign AWS Cloud Trail read-only access, not full access, read-only access only. So after that, you can put the name Azure Sentinel, like a role inside Amazon. And then you have to copy this role ID and just put it here, add that, done. So I can just show you that in workbooks, this is actually the Amazon. You can see I just connected 2 hours ago. So go and check that, and you can see all activity logs of last 14 days. So it's pulled that, and you can see good dashboard, and you can see all the regions where activity is being done. And then you can have network events. And then there is, again, some other services which will pull the data, ACLs, and security groups, because I just connected and it's still syncing there. So let's say if I go into the AWS user, so I can get that data inside this, and then I can analyze that. So yeah, that is actually all the details you can analyze, and you can get completely the trails that what's happening inside your environment, how I'm trying to access. So that's how you can bring completely AWS logs into Azure Sentinel. So in a similar way, this is a part of the AWS. So I'm trying to go into the slide again. here, as I mentioned, that collection of the data from the cloud, you can collect the data from the different sources, from Active Directory, from Exchange, from SharePoint. It depends that how you wanna integrate that. Again, Office 365 data is totally free. Other data, you have to size it, how much logs you wanna bring into your system. So it's again depends. That don't see that it's just free and we can pull that data and later your credit card is being charged a lot. So I can, I can jump into again in this, and I will show you in the data connectors. In the data connector, it's pretty easy to integrate with the Azure Active Directory. So I click it, that's it. It's a few clicks, that's it. 2 clicks and then apply the changes. It start pulling that data. In the same way, let's say there is a Azure activities. So you can bring the Azure activities also. That's it. So I connected completely with my subscription. It depends that how you want to connect. You need read permissions for that. It start pulling that data. And in the same way, identity, Active Directory identity protection. So you can enable that also. And if you like to disconnect, you don't want to do that. For this, you need P1 or P2. License is requirement. Sorry. This is Azure Advanced Threat Protection for identity protection. You can enable it also. It's quite easy, as I mentioned again, that you have to just connect it. It's a native experience that you don't need to do any extra effort. And let's say if you wanna choose and you wanna do analysis of your information protection and the compliance, so you can connect your Azure information protection as well. So yeah, so this is the way that you have to connect it. I can just show you inside this portal. 1 minute, please. Portal.azure.com. So let's say if you like to see all consolidated approach. So let's say this is my Azure information protection. So in Azure information protection, you know, with only EMS, you cannot get all logs. You need to have log analytics, at least you need to configure it with. And then you can get all users' activities, what your users are doing, what kind of activity logs producing. So you can see here. And this is data discovery. Some data is discovered on site on your machine. So you can check that there is a highly confidential data that is accessed. But when I connected with Sentinel, I can go into, let me go through a little bit more. So inside data connectors, because they are main source to pull the data. You see there is a common event CEF format is also available that you can pull the data based on standard of IT. It's not related to just one vendor or like that. No, you cannot, you can do anything. And if you like to bring the data from Cloud App Security at one centralized place, I know if customers having only Microsoft 365, some customers asking the question why we need Cloud App Security and Sentinel together. Okay, it depends upon you that if you like to have a SIEM solution, you wanna go deep dive, because Cloud App Security is not connecting with your other local infrastructure or other vendors. Cloud App Security mainly working on the SaaS application layers. And it's just giving the visibility on the top that you need something like SOC solution, Security Operations Center, that there you can do the automation, there you can bring AI-powered intelligence in that. Any question, please? Okay. So Cloud App Security, and then this is Microsoft Defender connector also. Microsoft Defender ATP for the devices, so you can connect it with, because I connected already. So this is how you can connect easily. Let's say this is a Fortinet, and in the Fortinet you can, if you have that firewall, so then you have to do all these configurations, and then you can connect it with your Fortinet firewall. So it starts sending the data, like as I did with the Amazon. So in Office 365 services, there is a connector. So you can pull the data of Exchange and the SharePoint. That's it. Just connect it, apply the changes. So it start working with that. Okay. So now I will go back into the other areas. So I will start, this is actually the data connectors. And in data connectors, as I mentioned, that you can collect the data from the different sources, different endpoints. This is actually a really, really good architecture. I can share these 2 slides with you guys. Like Microsoft Azure Sentinel, don't let you be handicapped actually. Let's say if you, as I mentioned, if you have a Sentinel REST API, Microsoft is pulling the data from all well-known firewalls or solutions, Paracoda, F5, Palo Alto, Symantec, you can do that. And then let's say if you have local environment and you can deploy proxy collectors, and over the HTTPS, you can pull that data and send it to the Sentinel. This is another way. Microsoft support Logdash also. You can pull that data from the Cisco, Checkpoint, Linux machines, CEF and syslog connectors, you can have it. And if you like to deploy the connectors locally, it's your choice, hosted connectors. If you like to deploy collectors directly in the Azure, for branch offices, you cannot afford collectors being hosted locally. So then these collectors can send the data to the Sentinel. So you have a hybrid and cloud approach together. And when we say that, okay, if you could not find any way out in this area, then you have to go with the automation and Azure functions, logic apps, and with PowerShell, you can create your own custom connectors and you can pull that data from your different sources. So that is actually end-to-end hybrid approach. Most of the customers are people saying that how everything is not connected with cloud. So it depends that how you wanna plan, how you wanna do that. So this is really, really important. So any question, please, until here?
So for me, Khalid, thanks so much for that. Yeah. So for me, the question I would be asking is, what's really the difference between Azure Sentinel? Why is it different? What value again do I get from it apart from using Azure Security Center?
Azure Security Center mainly look after Azure workloads. Okay, in the SaaS and the PaaS. And that having limited capabilities, you cannot bring the logs. Like Azure Sentinel is a SIEM or SOC solution. Azure Sentinel is a security solution only on the top of workloads of the Azure in platform as a service, software as a service, or in Kubernetes like that. Okay, as I mentioned that there is 3 things I can share that. I hope this is a big misunderstanding in most of our customers or in the people. I can draw this on the whiteboard. It will be helpful.
Okay. Because I get some customer ask me that what's actually the difference when you say the security center and Azure Sentinel? What else does it have to offer you apart from the what security center is doing? Okay,
so I think you can see my whiteboard. So
yeah.
Okay. So So let's say, as per my knowledge, might be, you guys can correct me, I'm not 100% perfect. I'm happy to listen from other participants also. Okay, let's say you have a Azure environment, and there you can use Azure Security Center. That's the way. And if you have Office 365, then you have use CASB. Okay. And what if you are working with let's say AWS, and you have lots of firewalls and local infrastructure, and you have a mess, then you need Azure Sentinel on the top. This data, everything goes at one centralized location. So it's a one-stop shop to collect data from modern workplace, M365, Azure, local environments, and vendors. I hope now you can understand.
Yes, I can see that.
Because it sits on the top now, because you have to do some advanced hunting. There is the limitations in Azure Security Center or the Cloud App Security. You cannot do the advanced hunting, and you cannot take automated decisions on the top of that, as you can do with logic apps, and you can create the ticket and something like that. So it's more about automation and AI. That's a key difference. I know Cloud App Security do with something with Flow, and you can do lots of things with Azure Security Center. But I told you that they are platform specific. If you have infrastructure as a service, platform as a service are running workloads, then Azure Security Center is best fit there. And if you have a big environment and you like to analyze that, and you have cross-cloud deployment, you are using M365, Azure, local infrastructure, firewalls, then you have to deploy the SOC solution. And then if you'd like to do the SOC solution with Splunk and other vendors, it's cost you a lot.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay.
And then the part of the automation really makes that sense and the difference, because yes, in Azure Security Center, you don't have that automation with it, that automatic response with it.
Yeah, I can share you guys things more, because I was just trying to clear the concept, and then I can jump into that. Okay, so we can move forward. With the optimize, bring your own insight, as I mentioned, that you can do with Jupyter notebooks. That is not you can run in the Azure Security Center and in the Cloud App Security. I'm not saying that they are not good workloads. They are good, but in their own capacity. So Microsoft built different models. You can use post-query language. Microsoft having a community on GitHub also, that publishing different playbooks, Microsoft calling it playbooks, to structure your automation. So that's how you can optimize your needs and things in an automated way. Okay, AI by your side, that's actually the real game changer. So I can show you guys. Threat detection and analysis, so it's give you the real-time data and correlate the data, entity, identity, everything in one centralized place. And then it's give you the visibility insights like this. And this is really powerful. And it just not that it's a drawing by two kids playing that. No, you can take the actions on the top of that. I can give you the overview. So that's actually the way that you can design logic apps. If you like to create a ticket in the SOC solution, and you can post that channel to the teams and send the approval. So you can structure this thing very well mannered. So this is actually the slide. So I can now go into the different area of demo. So I hope this will be helpful. So until now, I tried to explain how this product fits, how it works, and how to connect the data connectors. So for this slide, it's in the video also. If you like to have it, I can share with you guys. That's not a problem. It's a really good architecture that to understand, to talk with customers. Okay. So after the data connectors, I will go to the workbooks. Inside the workbooks, you can, as I showed you, that let's say you like to collect, you're gonna go and check that in audit logs of Active Directory, Azure Active Directory. You can go there and you can see all the data in one centralized way. This is actually the really good, charming way that you see user management, how much activities, Microsoft categorized it automatically. And the group management activities, application authorization. If I just click on that, you can go and you can narrow down your scope. Okay. And all kind of activities you can see here, role management and yeah. And let's say if I go on the all, done, and then you can check that how much failure, if there is a successful, then you can drill down that what's happening inside that and how it's gonna be fail. So in the same way, I will go into Exchange Online logs. You know, in the Exchange Online logs, Exchange Online, where actually Exchange Online data is coming from. I can show you guys that where it's coming from. So 1 minute.
Okay, Khalid, while that is going on, one other question I have, because during the slide, I saw that you said connecting Office 365 data is free. So I want to ask questions like, if I connect things like MCAS, I connect data from MCAS or from...
That you have to pay. That you have to pay. Other offices, yes.
Okay, then.
That you have to pay. I told you only Office 365 and better way, only Azure Active Directory, sign-in logs and audit logs try to connect it with. So Azure Sentinel mainly getting all activities of the Exchange from this dashboard, audit log search and activities. You can see it's complete full of data. And then you can go and you can drill down into each activities and you can see that what's happening, what's going on inside your environment. New mailbox is created. So you can see that who did that. There is admin roles, set mailboxes. So you can see lots of data inside. Let's say this guy is working from Egypt. I shared the account with him. So you can see better visibility and data, and then you can jump into different workbooks. As I mentioned, that you can go and you can analyze SharePoint activities, identity and cloud app security, discovery logs. Let's say, sorry, I have to choose all. Okay. Yeah, so it's a few logs coming inside that. So in workbooks, you can mark down and you can choose that what kind of logs you wanna save or you wanna have it. Let's say this is for the SharePoint, and you can see all the SharePoint data and you can do the analysis on the top of that. And I can go into the other areas also, but I'm just trying to show you guys that, okay, this is all activities. So you can see here. And in the real time, let's say if you would like to drill down something on the based on the IP address, based on the sites, just click on it. It will run the query inside advanced hunting. Yes, it goes. And then you can here analyze, let's say what you like to do. Let's say I accessed HR site. So you can see complete trail, that test policy, what's happening in that. And then let's say if this is my account, so you can see again the trial, all the logs are pulled over. Like I preview that file on this date from this site, and how many numbers? 6. So you can drill down your data based on the queries. You can run that. Let's say if you have to check that, okay, how your data of, let's say, some users are being breached, or some users having issues with their account, so you can just write it down coastal query language. So let me go into the new, and you can just type here. That is totally based on the intelligence. So you can just type coastal query language. Someone likes to have a good career in security side of Microsoft, learn the coastal query language. That's really, really important. And Microsoft, that's actually the capability. Computer activities or computer performance or the data you like to use. So you can run queries directly from that, and then you can choose different operations, machine-wise, user-wise, location based on the IP addresses. This is actually the custom-built areas you can cover in Azure Sentinel. So now I will jump into the advanced hunting. In the advanced hunting, as I mentioned, there is, again, heavy investments by Microsoft. And you can see that there is, in the advanced hunting, there is Microsoft is running, like, this is the data. If you like to pull the activities, what's actually going on behind the scene in the AWS, that query is already pre-written about if someone attached the policy, attached the role, something like that. So it goes into that, and it get complete trail, you see, inside your SOC solution. That's actually really important for getting complete details. I know in Amazon you can do other things also. I'm not against any cloud vendor. I am vendor neutral. So, but what's if you bring everything at one centralized place and one centralized location? That actually the best way that you can do lots of work without much effort and with automation. Let's say if you like to go, just as a use case, if you like to go with the failed sign-in attempts to expiry accounts. So I don't have results yet, but you can run it that. Yeah, because I don't have such things, because I'm using very legitimate way. So this is actually, if someone is trying to access or trying to breach your users, they have their access already, but those users are already gone, and you keep those accounts. So here is account has expired, is equal to unknown. You can run the queries in the real time. There is a list of queries you can build. You can add your own also, but you see here is, that's actually the real power: initial access, conditional access. So you can use this advanced hunting, advanced parameters based on that. And there is a live streaming also. You can bookmark something, and you can run the queries in the real time. If you like to run the query, you can take that. These are the results, but if you like to run the query, you can go directly into the instance. There is a logs. So you can go and you can choose that your all connected logs will be here, and you can start typing that. Okay, and then I will go into incidents. Let's say if these are the incidents, if I like to see that where I'm logging in from, so I can get complete investigation that I try to log in me as a user, and you can take the action over there directly from here. You can choose that. You can go on the more, and then you can see each activity, which machine, which workloads being accessed. And if you like to see the full detail of that incident, you can see, and you can go and you can check that what's actually going on and what kind of the alert policy So then you can go in the logs again and you can run that. You see, this is activity and this activity is completely marked, and this data is coming from Microsoft Cloud App Security. So this is how you can structure each and everything. It's giving me the entity, complete property, product name, complete trail they are giving me. So that's actually best fit. But again, it depends. It's your expertise and customer focus. If they're loyal to or like to have other products, good for them. Okay. And these are investigations you can do. And you know, this product is quite big, so I will try to do my best. If I start talking, I will take 7 days. It will not gonna finish. Okay. There is analytics. That is actually the AI. And based on, you have some threats, create incident based on the Azure Advanced Threat Analytics. So let's say you can edit that. And then you can choose, okay, filter by this, and then you can have different parameters, okay, add those alerts, and you can type that only create incident from the alerts that contain the following text. Let's say I will go microtext, okay. So I added this keyword. Based on the keywords, you can go. And these are all products of Microsoft, like Azure Active Directory, Identity Protection Center. I'm going to do with the Security Center. And then this is a way that you can create your own rules and you can run the templates. Also, there is lots of templates. So you can create your own pre-built rules inside, let's say, in Cloud App Security. And then you can choose that are validated, and this is actually already created rule. So in this you have, like, there is so many rules based on each workload, and there is a medium that you can define. It's based on the data sources. Let's say SharePoint file operation via device with yeah, and then you want to create that rule, file uploaded, file downloaded, so you can do that also. You can create your own custom roles here also. That these are the pre-populated templates, but if you like to create, you can create schedule a query role or incident creation rule. It's up to you that how you like to structure this. And you can put the name and review that, and then you can define based on your parameters and analysis. Sorry. And here is playbooks. I imported few playbooks inside that. Let's say run Microsoft Defender ATP. Let's say if signal coming to Azure Sentinel, that in some machines there is how I can say some malware or some ransomware attack is happening. So Azure Sentinel alert is triggered automatically, generate the incident, get the host automatically based on that score, which is connected through Microsoft Defender ATP. And then you can assign that, create that ticket, and that ticket will be assigned to the specific engineer that he can look into that, investigate into that. So you can do the all automation inside Azure Sentinel. So I think, yeah. So this is actually notebooks, Jupyter notebooks. Microsoft is moving towards open source community. So here you can write complete your own context or analysis, what you like to do. And these are specifically helpful for managed services partners who likes to offer or who likes to connect with the customers, that you can deliver services for them as a managed services that, you know, Azure Sentinel works as in the lighthouse also. Might be some people knows that you can centralize deploy Azure Sentinel and with your customers, and then you can pull the logs at one centralized location, and on the top you can bring your engineers and they can build different automation and deployments, and they can look after the environment. But again, it depends region to region and geography. So I think that's all from my side. Last 10 minutes, if you guys have any question, you want to discuss something, I'm happy to answer that.
Thanks so much, Khalid. Yes, so the floor is open for any question. I think we still have like 9 minutes left.
Yeah.
You have a question?
Hello. Yeah, good evening, everybody. I have a question, please.
Yeah.
Okay, it's I think you said a bit about it's about the Azure Sentinel and Office 365 integration. So when you mean free, is it that you can just integrate it without paying for the storage use?
Yes. I can show you. These are free. I think you can double check that. But when you have Azure Active Directory, sign-in logs and audit logs are free. Okay. Sign-in logs and audit logs you can connect freely. The rest of things you have to bear it with. Understand?
Oh, yeah. Okay. So basically sign and audit logs. Okay, the audit log, does it cover all the Office 365 components or just the Active Directory?
I think it's mentioned in that, but I will double check that. I'm not sure. I cannot say 100% yes or no now. But as mentioned in this offering of Microsoft Office 365, Exchange, and SharePoint, and Active Directory, audit log, and sign-in logs, these 4 areas, I think so. But that is Azure Active Directory. I'm 100% sure. I know that. And for Office 365, Exchange, and SharePoint, I think that I will double check. But it looks free.
All right, thank you.
Yeah. Any more question, please?
Okay, so Khalid, my question would be, how would you advise when it comes to picking, in terms of bandwidth, if you have to extend the functionality of Azure Sentinel into your on-premise, because when it's picking data, definitely will be using part of the bandwidth. So how would you, what would be your recommendation around that?
Again, it depends based on the architecture, how it's getting bandwidth. Bandwidth is not related to Sentinel. Bandwidth is to your, let's say, if a Sentinel is pulling the data over the REST API, that is Microsoft part. Okay. And if you're trying to connect your locally offline infrastructure that is totally, completely out of internet, then you have to deploy log collectors, and those log collectors you have to manage. Either you go with site-to-site VPN or express route based on your data, on the sizing.
Okay. All right. Okay, so my last question will be, is there any retention time for when logs are collected? Is there any retention time in Azure Sentinel for it?
Yes, there is I can show you. This is one. And here you can change this. I think there is a configure the retention. Sorry, you can configure up to 365 days or more. But it depends that which subscription or the tier you are going to choose.
Okay.
It depends on your workspace. You see?
Okay.
Yeah. It's in between 31 months to 2 years data you can store. But again, if you have that data, a long retention, you have to pay more.
No, that's true.
Yeah.
Okay then. Thank you.
Okay, guys, thank you very much. I try to cover the context of this product, but might be next time we can do something more. And this Sentinel is really powerful way to integrate all your SOC solutions, SIEM solution, on-premise, cross-cloud, modern workplace, Azure at one centralized place. On the top of that, you can create playbooks and you can connect your ticketing system, everything with it. Okay.
All right. Thank you so much, Khalid. I mean, it's always good to have you on the call at any time. And for sure, when we have a new one, we will not hesitate to get in touch with you. I'm sure that you're more than willing to come on the call to give us part of this knowledge. Thank you, everyone, for taking our time. With this, we've come to the end of the program for today. Our last show for the week will be tomorrow. We'll be talking about the Azure B2B and B2C. That will be the last program for the week, and hopefully, if we have to return back to work, that may also be the last program for the virtual meetup. Other meetups that we'll have, will let you know. However, there's going to be an Azure bootcamp for Saturday. Is a global boot camp, so you guys are invited to the Nigeria version. We'll share the link in the community, in the WhatsApp group, and all of that. I'll also be sending you this link if you need to join. So it's going to be all talks about Azure, and it's all going to be talks. Even if you're looking for certification, my own topic is mainly on the certification aspect of it and the roadmap. So I invite you on Saturday for that. With that being said, I appreciate you once again, Khalid, for this wonderful session. Very informative, very insightful, and very impacting, I must say. Thank you all for the time. Until we see tomorrow. Yeah, stay safe and stay protected. Bye. Yeah, thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you very much.
Yeah, bye-bye.